feel like my IVF journey might be over. Okay, big deep breath, because this is really hard for me to speak about. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Charlotte. I have just finished my 4th IVF round where I had a miscarriage. Rounds 1, I had to abandon at stims because I didn't respond at all. Round 2, we got 5 mature eggs and we only got 2 blastocysts from that. We got 3 blastocysts, sorry, 1 wasn't suitable for freezing. So our first transfer was a fresh transfer, which resulted in a chemical pregnancy, and my second transfer resulted in a miscarriage at 6 weeks. Unfortunately, we don't qualify for any NHS funding because my husband already has a son from a previous marriage, although he now has secondary infertility and he has a severe sperm binding issue. So what that means is that we can't use traditional IVF, we have to use ICSI, because if we use IVF, my husband's sperm can't penetrate my egg. So when they put them in a dish together, they just don't go together. We have to have ICSI to physically inject into that. So because both of my embryos stuck, it leads us to ask a few more questions, especially because I've never been pregnant before. So this seems to all be down to getting pregnant, not the lining as such. So we were told that because of my low AMH and Ashley's severe sperm binding issue, that the quality of our embryos was probably on the lower side, despite it being a 5 BB and a 3 AB. That's obviously just from what they can see on the outside, not chronologically on the inside. We didn't have them PGTA tested simply because we couldn't afford it on top of the IVF costs, and we only had 2, so we just thought, let's just try. Skip forward all that, but this is really, really hard for me to speak about, and I'm going to really try and not get emotional. We are now at the point where we have spent around £25,000 when you include all of the IVF, all of the acupuncture, supplements, etc, etc. We are extremely lucky that we raised £11,000 on our Just Giving. So thankful for that. However, we had no savings before that. Like, anyone I work with will tell you, I have worked my arse off in every single bit of overtime that was going. I have worked so hard for us to be able to afford the rest of that treatment, but now the pot is dry. So we need to think not just about money, but also emotionally. This has really impacted me and Ash emotionally now, from what we've had to go through, all the struggles, the losses, like I say, on round 1 being told you've not responded, that hurt. On round 2 when we got no fertilisation, that hurt. It's a really tough process, and people don't think about the mental side of that as well. So after some really tough conversations between me and Ash, we now don't know what to do. So I'd just love to hear, like, I have 40,000 of you on here and I'd love to hear your experiences. I'm sort of at the point now where I'm thinking about donor eggs. Not gonna get upset. Firstly, let me say, I've looked into donor eggs and I've looked into all the epigenetics and stuff, and that is so lovely. But still, in the back of my head, I have guilt of I wouldn't be able to give my husband a biological child, my parents a biological grandchild. I also fear that other people will look at me and just be like, that's not her child. And that's what I'm struggling with. Not my emotions around using a donor, but around other people's opinions. So at the moment, we are considering whether to go around again with our own eggs and sperm, or to go ahead with donor embryo and Ashley's sperm, which could also be damaged and end up in the same situation, as we don't know what's causing it to go wrong. It could be me, it could be Ash. Or to go ahead with donor embryos, which would be a donor egg and a donor sperm put together. I'd really just love to hear people's opinions who've done donor. I mean, the science behind it now is so amazing. So like, they match you to donors who look like you, who have your characteristics. But yeah, it wouldn't be IVF, because it would be like what I've just done, a frozen transfer. The embryo would already be made and I would simply travel to have that implanted in me. I wouldn't do any of the stimulation medications, etc. And it's not that I wouldn't consider the donor. I obviously am, which is why I'm here talking to you. I don't want people to get twisted as to why I'm upset about that. My upset is from how other people would look at it and how other people would react. So I'm just sort of wanting to know what your experiences are with donor, if you have, what you would do in my situation. Would you go again? Would you use your own eggs and chance that? Obviously, like I say, we've had 2 rounds where we've had nothing to transfer. Or would you look into donor at this point? Because honestly, at this point, I just want to be a mum. However that comes, I just want to be a mum. And I'm really, really struggling with the fact that that might not happen. The thing that keeps me sane is that I have a stepson who is 18 and he was 9 when I met him. And I would give him the world. He's literally on the other side of that wall now. And I would give him the world and more. It doesn't matter to me that I never birthed him. It doesn't matter to me that I met him when he was 9. Like, I would give him everything. If he came to me and said I'm in trouble, I'd give him the last penny in my bank account. I'd give him I love him to death. So for me, I think if I can love a child who I met at 9 years old, surely birthing my own child, even if it's not biologically mine, would be that same love. So that is where I'm at. And I've been holding that in for a little bit. Even probably since before my last transfer, I've been thinking about this, if it doesn't work. So it's been on my mind a lot, but I haven't shared it because I don't know the reaction to what that's going to be. I'm hoping that you'll all give me a lot of support and a lot of reassurance. But I just sort of need someone to tell me, like, what to do, what you would do, some reassurance that that is my child, like... Yeah, and I'm sorry if my dog snored through that whole thing, but that is where we're at, and this is a really big thing for me to come on and speak about, so thank you for listening. One last thing that I just wanted to say, because I just thought about it and I thought I know a lot of people are going to come in the comments and say it. I know a lot of people are going to tell me to do X, Y and Z tests. Like, I've done a lot of testing, but what people also don't realise is this testing is a lot of money. And I know there's going to be several comments that will come in and tell me to go to Fertility and have that testing. But obviously, while there may be other things underlying, our main issue is my AMH and Ashley's sperm binding. So going to Fertility would not fix the fact that we physically need my husband's sperm injecting into my egg. There's no bypassing that. Also, what people don't realise is the first thing that you do with Fertility is an at-home blood test. That's £2,000. £2,000. Then when it comes back, if you do need any treatment, that can be up to £5,000. As I already said, we've spent so much already. We don't have it. We don't have the funds to spend £5,000 on testing. It's just not there. We're at the point now where unless it's on the NHS and it's something we can get in that way, we can't financially do it. You know, I'm a carer. Ash works in a car garage. You know, we don't have an endless pot of money to just go, okay, we're going to spend £5,000 on testing here, and then, okay, we're going to spend 500 quid on this test and 600 quid on it. Like, it's not realistic. And we just don't have it. So this is where we're at. And I'd just love to know people's opinions on donor. Or if you would stick with your own eggs and just continue that way and see what happens. But yeah, thank you in advance for anyone who does support me. If you're going to leave a nasty comment, I'm just going to delete it and block you. So